So what I did basically was I took that flyer and I cut the piece off the top that shows what we're going to work on, and I put it on an artboard. Mm-hmm. And then I brought this piece of art that you sent me in, and I just wanted to show you that this is a PNG file, PNG file, okay? Mm-hmm. I know that because that's the extension, but if you take a look at a ping, what a ping basically has is transparency. So see the areas in here and the areas again in the background here are all transparent, and what you get is just that black line.
Yeah.
So that's the ping. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out to you is because I am going to take this ball and I'm going to convert that ball into vector art that we can use to create this masking effect to get these dogs showing. Mm-hmm. All right, and I want to show you what that looks like, so I've deliberately dragged it off of the, actually, you know what? Better idea. Let me bring it back here, and let me go to my layers panel, and let me create 3 layers. All right, this is actually a better way to go. I'm going to call this layer background. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this. I would recommend that you do it. I do it because I always do this when I work on it. It helps make it easier for me to deal with. Plus, it also helps me to show you better what I'm doing. So this layer here is going to be photos.
Okay.
Okay. This layer is going to be mask. And the top layer, whoops, M-A-S-K, okay. And the top layer is going to be outline. Right. Now, what I'm going to do, everything right now, this was my original layer. So everything's on that original layer. Mm-hmm. So the very first thing that I want to do here is I want to create a background. So, and the reason I want to create a background is because once I create a background, you can see what this is doing. So I'm just going to create a rectangular shape over the entire artboard. And there's 2 artboards here, by the way. And I'm going to use the eyedropper tool to copy that pink color. Okay? So now I have that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Object, Arrange, Send to Back. You know what? Edit, Cut. All right. And Edit, Paste, and Back. Yep. And it goes over here. Really good. Let me get it over there. There we go. Okay. So, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to now take this thing, and we did this before, remember, when I select the object, I got these different layers here. Everything is on that bottom layer right now until I start moving things around. So I am going to turn this into a mask and to an outline. So I might as well move that up to the mask layer first. Okay, so I move it up to the mask layer. And by the way, just so that you know, every one of these layers that I create has its own unique color. So when you see me move something to a different layer, whatever color is showing here, like that layer is red, that layer is green, that layer is dark blue, that layer is light blue. This little thing and the highlighting is going to be on that color. All right, now what I'm going to do is, there's my background layer. So what's on the background layer is my picture and that little black background thing. I'm going to lock that layer. So that means that I can't really interact with that background anymore. This thing here I'm going to select, and I'm going to go to the Object menu, and I'm going to go to Image Trace, Make. And we get this. Now, we tried to, the other day, trace your logo, and because of the size of the logo, we were unsuccessful making that trace work out. That's going to happen from time to time. Keep in mind, whenever you trace something, you always want to trace the biggest thing that you can possibly trace, and the less detail in the object usually is better. All right. In this particular case, I think you can see it's really pretty easy to trace this, and you got a really good result. See, that looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. But what's happening, just so that you know, is this is no longer a PNG file. This is a traced object. It's turning itself into a vector object. And since it's a vector object, all of these areas have either fill or stroke or something there. So it's going to completely change. All right. And what we have to do is we have to clean up certain areas and move on from there. So just so that you know, that's what happens when you go go to the object menu and go to image trace make. Now there's a tracing panel over here. Okay. And we played with it the last time, but to be completely honest with you, I'm not going to really do anything with that today because this actually looks good enough to work with. So all I'm going to do is go to the object menu again and go to image trace expand. Now when I do that, this is no longer a bitmap that's been traced. This has actually now been converted into vector objects. That's all there is to tracing this part of this project. Okay? Any problems with that? Any questions?
No, I think that's what I did originally.
Yeah.
And then I tried to do a clipping mask with the photo with that, but for some reason it wouldn't let me do it with the photo.
Well, we're going to do it right now, and we're going to see how it goes. It should be no problem. All right, so I'm going to go File, Save it, and I'm going to go Object, Ungroup. Because now, just so that you know, when you make that, when you trace that object, it automatically comes together as a group. So I want to ungroup it because, see, I don't need stuff like this. I'm going to delete that.
Yeah.
And I don't need this area there. I'm going to delete that. So what that leaves me with basically leaves me with the outlines and these white fills. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, if you take a look at your artwork here, you have a white outline and then you have your pictures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the outline. I'm going to select the outline, holding the Shift key down. I'm going to select the outline. Whoops, I got the wrong thing. Let me do it again and make sure I get the right thing. Click on that. Click on that. There we go. And click on that. Okay, and I'm going to go to my Layers panel. That's on the mask layer, so that's where I want it to, actually, no, I want that to go to the outline layer. So now that's on the outline layer. So here's what I want to show you. Once it's on the outline layer, you see what I can do? I can hide it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have this on the layer. There's my mask layer, okay, and I'm going to hide the mask layer because the first thing that I'm going to do now that I have this, my masks are there, my outline is there. The only thing that is not there are the photos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the photos in one at a time.
That's what I probably did wrong. I got rid of the white part, the mask part.
Well, you could get rid of the mask part, but to be truthful with you, in this particular case, the mask part gives you what you need to make the mask. So yeah. I don't throw it away because in this case, it helps me. You know what I mean? Because then I end up with this nice, black line, which I can select now, and I can change that to white. See? And now I've got basically the white that I need out here. Although I think that's a little bit on the yellowy side. You can always change the color, but you get the general idea, right? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the, I'm going to go down to the photo layer. I'm going to lock the outline layer, and the mask layer is hidden, so I don't really need to do anything with that. But I'm going to make sure I got the photo layer selected. The reason I'm doing this is because I want the photos to come in on that layer. I'm going to go File, Place, and I'm going to see about my photos. So let's see. I got dogs 1. I don't know which one is dogs 1. Dog 3. Let's try dog 3. Place. There's dog 3. Okay, so that's him. There he is. All right, now he should be behind that, and he is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scale him down. I'm going to come in here, holding the Shift and the Alt key, and I'm just going to scale him down until I get him to about the size that you have there. And keep going. I think it's a little bit smaller. That's probably pretty good. I'm going to make him a little tiny bit smaller, Rachel, like that. That's probably pretty good right there. Okay. And maybe what I'll do is I'll move him over like, oh, I don't know. Let's see here. Did you rotate him? You might have rotated
I
him.
might have a little bit, yeah.
Let me see. I'm going to see if I can get him. Yeah, see, you did rotate him a little bit. And I'm just going to move him around until I get him. I'm going to get him reasonably close to what you got. I ain't worried about it 100%, but reasonably close to what you got. And I probably would say that that's pretty close, okay? Close enough for our purpose. Actually, it looks like he might be a little bit on the low side. There's too much of that port showing. I think we want to be somewhere more like that and more over a little bit. I think more like that. Something like that might be better. That's close enough, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I have him, okay, I am going to bring the mask layer forward, okay? So here's where the masking takes place. I am going to carefully select the masked section, which is the center section that's on the mask layer, right? You got that? Not the outline, but that centerpiece, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you know what I'm doing exactly, right? No question?
Nope.
Hold the shift key down, click the photo, and then go to the object menu, clipping mask, make.
Yep.
And there you have it.
Okay.
That's exactly how you do it. And you do the same thing. Go back to the photo layer, okay? And go File, Place, and bring in dog. That was dog. I'm going to go dog 2. I think that's the other little dog. Yeah, there he is. He's very cute. There he is. He's adorable, actually. And now I'm going to make him smaller. Let's make him smaller to about the size that he should be. Bring him up like that.
Okay, yeah, I think that was my mistake. I deleted the white part.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could do it another way, but that way to me makes the most sense. And I think you might have rotated him a little bit too, just to get him. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe he might be just a touch smaller. Let's see. Again, as I say, I ain't worried about making him exactly the same way. I'm more concerned about making him look similar to what yours is.
Yeah.
About good. Okay, then again, now that I got that, bring back my mask layer and hold the shift key down and just make sure that I select that. Let me actually get the selection tool. Select that. So now I have, and the important thing is the photo's got to be behind the object that you're going to be making the clipping mask out of.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make, and there he is. And then just the same thing, go back to the photo layer, File, Place. Where are you? Right there. And these are the dogs. Dogs 1, hit place. There we go, and there they are. And those, I believe you did rotate them some. Let's make them smaller to begin with. Let's make them a little bit bigger. Too small. About like that. Let's see, maybe that's right. Let's try rotating them so we get them in the position that they should be in. And I think that's reasonably close. They just need to be a little bit smaller. Like this, maybe. It's pretty close, but I think a little bit too small. Maybe he rotated more. And probably a little bit bigger. And
good enough.
yeah, well, actually, it comes down. I can move it over until it gets that way. See, I have a lot at the top there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, just basically getting the thing to be in the proper position. There you go, and move them down a little bit. And when you get them about where you want them, then you go back to your mask layer and get your selection tool. Click that, hold the shift key down, click that. Object, clipping mask, make. And there you have your clipping mask. Now, what you would do with this is I'm gonna go back to this layer, hide it, or better yet, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock it and I'm going to delete this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to get this and I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to take that artboard right there. Let me get the artboard, the first artboard. There we go. And I'm going to size this artboard till it's really close to the size of that piece of art.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then bring it in like that, and bring it in like that. So now I have this as, and I'm going to get rid of that background. Okay, now this guy here, it looks to me like I probably have to adjust him. He looks like he might be a little bit, some of the photo isn't showing, so he's got to come down a little bit. Get that in. Let me get him into the screen. There we go. Let me move him over. That's a little bit better. So he looks like he's at least in the shot properly. That ought to do it. And I'm going out the other side, aren't I? That's probably good enough. That'll work. Okay, so there's your art. Now, what you would do with this, now that you got this done, keep in mind that there's also a white line around the outside of this you're not seeing, because you're seeing this against white. That's the artboard. So what you're going to do is you're going to go File, Save As, okay? And you're going to save this thing either as an Adobe PDF, okay? Hit Save. And I'm just going to choose the defaults for now. And then the other way that you could save this, File, Save As, and you could save this as an EPS. Okay, EPS is a vector file that you can use. The reason I'm saving this is because I'm going to show you how you bring this into Adobe InDesign and what happens when you do that. So you hit Save. So now I have both of them done. I'm just going to select the default for now. It's writing the EPS. Okay, now I'm going to open up InDesign, and in InDesign what I did was, let me get my layers here quick. I have layers here, ball, top, color, and background. Ball, top, color, and background. Okay, so I got my background. What I'm going to do is, on the background layer, I'm going to create a shape. Let me create a shape here. All right, let me create a shape. And let me fill that shape if I can. Let's see if I can get the color eyedropper tool. All right, and let's see if I can, oh, you know what, maybe, let me see if I can hide this. All right, let me try it again. There we go. And let me go to my swatches and let me create a swatch. There we go, new swatch, boom. Okay, and that's just gonna be a color. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag guides out because I just want to show you how we bring this in. So there's my, I'm putting a guide there, and this thing should really come down a little bit, probably to there. Okay. And I'm going to bring a guide out to there. And then I'm going to bring a guide out to there. That should do it. So I got 3 guides here. Now what I can do is go into my layers panel, and I can hide the background layer, and I can come in here and I can create a shape. All right, let me go to my top color. Let me create a shape like this, and I'm going to fill it with that color with no stroke. So now I have, let's go to the view menu. Let's go to my background. Let's see if I can get these guys up. You know what? Top color. Let's see if it goes up to the top color. Let's see if this one goes up to the top color. Yep, there we go. I'm moving the guides up onto the top color so I can see them. Whoops. I don't want that. I want that guide if I can get it. Come on, you. I think I got it. There we go. I did. Okay, so there I have my guides. See my guides?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rectangular shape, all right, just like this, right, like that. All right, now I'm going to go File, Place. And what the reason I'm doing this is I just want to show you that once you create this piece of art in Adobe Illustrator and you turn it into an EPS or a PDF, you can then bring it into Adobe InDesign and you can use it to create a layout in Adobe InDesign. So this way you don't get stuck having to always build your layouts in Adobe Illustrator. Sometimes it's okay to make Illustrator layouts, but when you're working in a real world, you really should be working in InDesign when you create your layouts. So click on that and hit open. And there it comes in. And that is the EPS, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I can come in here and I can delete that. And I can go File, let me select the frame first, File, Place. And this time I'll bring in the PDF and hit Open. And the EPS comes in. I mean, the PDF comes in. Give it a second. Here we go. There we go. So there you go. And notice that you get your lines, you get your photos, and you get your transparency out here. That's basically how you do it.
Yep.
Any questions?
No.
Good to go?
Yeah.